So now about 8 years later, we finally have a sequel to 300. So is it as good? So the events of 300 Rise of an Empire actually take place before, during and after the events of 300. So it's both a prequel and a sequel and sort of its own movie. It starts off with the origin story of Xerxes and then moves on to the events that happen after 300 by the end of the movie. But more or less the story is the same, it's just Persians trying to kill Greeks and vice versa. But no, honestly, you're not here to watch the story, you're here to watch the fight scenes and all the action that's gonna take place. And that as an objective, I would say 300 Rise of an Empire does it pretty well. The main guy this time around is a guy called Themistokles, played by... dude, I can't remember his name. His role was actually, I thought, more story based than anything. He didn't have as much screen presence and charisma as Gerald Butler, but his role in the movie was integral to advancing the story. I think a lot of people will agree with me that the main character in this movie is actually Artemisia, played by Eva Green, of course, who is a complete badass in her role. I think she was by far the best character in the movie and the most compelling to watch. And I felt that she played one of the best female villains I've ever seen in a long time. Apart from that, action scenes are pretty well done. They're pretty exciting to watch, a lot of naval battles and all that cool stuff. But it is green screening and it is kind of more apparent this time around than in the previous movie, at least that's how I see it. I would say there were a couple of dull moments as well, moments where the story is advancing and then you don't have a lot of action going on. And also I didn't quite agree with some of the speed ramping and slow motion that they did in some of the fight scenes. I felt that it could have been used better and it wasn't as awesome as it was in the first 300. And of course I think everyone notices how fake the blood looks. I mean, it's like everyone has arteries for all their veins. People are getting chopped up and then like blood's just like flying everywhere, so it's a little bit over... Sure, it's a lot over the top and it kind of took me out of the movie because it just looked too fake. With that said though, there was a pretty ridiculous scene towards the end of the movie in the final fight scene which looked like it was taken straight out of a video game cutscene, and the ridiculousness of it all actually made it a lot more fun to watch, so I guess it kind of works in one way or another. But overall though, 300 Rise of an Empire is really more of the same of 300. If you like 300, you're probably like this. But if you didn't quite enjoy the first movie, you might not enjoy it as much, so I would give 300 Rise of an Empire about a 6 or 7 out of 10. I would say definitely check it out if you're a fan of the first movie. So yeah, those are my thoughts on 300 Rise of an Empire. Thanks for watching my review. Tell me what you think of the movie in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.